Hi all, this is tutorial number 6 for your red velvet cookies, and this is actually the final tutorial. And unfortunately it's probably the biggest one with the most information is in it. So this is your final submission, the final task you need to do, and this is actually prototyping and justifying all of your decisions for your red velvet cookies. Okay, so this is the part of the assessment schedule. This is just for achieved. You need to use results from testing and stakeholder feedback to inform the trialling and making. Now that looks like here, placing your recipe. So we go back up to here, and it's definitely it's about all the information that you put into this, selecting ingredients. Oh, my screen's running away from me. Selecting ingredients and processes, that is the first part. So you're explaining all of that. The second part of it, if we go back to the assessment schedule, undertaking prototyping. And for that first part, obviously, you're adding in your recipe and your flowchart. The second part here, undertaking prototyping. So you've made your final outcome, you've served it into the cafe, you've included photos, and you've collected feedback from your stakeholders. So all that is going to go here, flowchart, prototyping. All your photos and your comments can go in here. Now, for the final justification, which is this part here, explain any decisions to accept, sorry, my words are getting muddled. Explain any decisions to accept and or modify the prototype. So as I've mentioned a couple of times, your prototype doesn't have to be perfect. It can still need work being done on it, and that's completely fine. You might discover that you've made the cookie, it meets all the specifications, but when you served it in the cafe, it crumbled and fell apart. And your stakeholders didn't like that because it made a mess when they were trying to eat them. And as long as you can explain why that's happened and come up with some solutions to fix it, you've still completed this project really well, and you've still done a really good job of prototyping, because it's important that we know that we have to learn all the time. Now, so when we get to the evidence, you've got to explain how you've got to that point. So this is your final justification table here. Now, we did further up at the beginning of our project, we did those specifications. So if we go back to here, you will see that we did our specifications here. So your prototype specifications are going to be here. You're going to, in here, you're going to have your highlighted specifications that you want to run with, or you may have added in another column here and added them in there. You're going to transfer that information down to here. So your initial specification, some of you may have even come up with it from our existing product analysis. Then in here, you're going to put your specification for your final product that you're serving in the cafe. So weight, for instance, here you may have decided it was 65 grams. Your prototype, you've decided now that it's too that was too big, but you might decide 55 grams is the perfect one for your prototype, and your explanation might be something along the lines of, the original cookie was slightly too big to serve in the cafe, so stakeholders all fed back that it needed to be smaller. Now, I'm running out of time, so I'm going to stop now, and we're going to do a part 2 of this one. Okay, back to you shortly.